Hello, hello. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're all doing well here today. We're back with our around the world trip. This is day number, I believe it's day number 33 of our around the world trip. And today we'll be checking out a brand new country in this journey. We'll be visiting the country of Bolivia today. Yep, we're going to be doing some high altitude stuff today. We're going to be checking out, uh, it's going to be one of our two flights into Bolivia this week. The other one will be heading to La Paz as well, but today we'll be going to Santa Cruz de la Sierra today. So we're going to be doing some flying. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you guys had a great week. I can't wait for the weekend to start. So let's go over our flight plan for today. Here, let's get maps situated. So our map here will start at Antofagasta Airport, Sierra Tri Foxtrot Alpha. Then next, we're going to actually do some serious climbing. We're going to be climbing first to 11,500 feet, and we'll make our way over to one of the largest open pit mines in the world at Chiquia-Quemada. So we'll check out the open pit mine, and then we're going to climb all the way back up to 18,000 feet. And we're going to go ahead and check out the salt flat. This is the Uyuni salt flat, the world's largest salt flat in the world. Before making our first landing of the day here at La Joya Adriana Airport, Sierra Lima Uniform Yankee. Then from there, we'll check out, we'll fly over Potosi, which was one of the richest cities during the Spanish times, and make all the way to Santa Cruz de la Sierra, Sierra Lima Victor Yankee. So we'll go ahead and check that out, and that is going to be the stream. So, obviously, I want to say hello to my moderator, Super Typhon. Good to see you, my dude. And I want to say hello to all the lurkers in chat. Good to see you guys here too. So the plane we're taking today, it is going to be the FS Reborn Piper M500 today. If you guys don't know, this is a beautiful aircraft designed by FS Reborn. It's one of the best GA planes you can buy in the sim. It's a fantastic plane. I haven't flown this in a while, but the real reason I wanted to take this today was because, well, if you know anything about Bolivia and all that, a lot of Bolivia is at very high altitudes today. In fact, for example, our first stop is actually over 12,000 feet in altitude. And because of these insane altitudes and all that, we need to take a turboprop. Thankfully, this M500 should take care of that, no problem at all. The M500 is going to be a very nice plane to take us to these altitudes. In fact, it can go over 1,000 nautical miles, and it can go up to 30,000 feet, which is perfect for today. It may not go the fast. It's not as fast as the TBM or King Air, but it should go fast enough. Let's go ahead and get this Piper started. Let's go ahead and get this plane up and ready to go. Not really gonna put any cargo. So, yeah, everything looks pretty good. Before start engine. There we go. And okay, let's go. There we go. We got the nice. That and just so let's go ahead and take care of business. What an amazing plane, though. This plane is awesome, and if you like turboprops, this is definitely an excellent plane. So yep, we're gonna for our first leg of the trip, we're gonna be I'm gonna go ahead and set the heading and all that. We're gonna be going at 55-degree heading. And our altitude's gonna be at, it says 11,500. I'm gonna go 12,000, just to be safe. Let's go. And we're going to go leave for Chile for the last time. We're going to be leaving Chile. And we're now going to head our way over to beautiful Bolivia. So yeah, guys, we're going to be climbing up all the way to our first leg of the flight will take us about 108 plus 142, 250, 275 nautical miles. So it should take us about an hour or something, but we'll get our way to our first stop. Yeah, we're going to some pretty high altitudes today. So that's why a turboprop was very, very appropriate to take for today. Yeah, we're heading up through some beautiful terrain. I mean, this part of Chile, by the way, I did do some GA flying around this region. Absolutely breathtaking area to fly in the sim. It is breathtaking. The top at Kama Desert, very, very nice flying in the sim. Mm. So So once we come to 11,000 feet, we'll talk about our first topic for today, about Bolivia's history. So I want to bring that up for just a bit. So, mm, mm. So we're gonna climb up all the way to the so we're about 11,000 feet. Okay. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, guys. Let's go over our slideshow for a bit. Now, of course, this is Bolivia we're talking about here today. This South American country is only one of two. Is only one of two landlocked countries in all of South America. The other being Paraguay. But this country is actually pretty interesting. It's bordered by Brazil to the north and east, Paraguay to the southeast, Argentina to the south, Chile to the southwest, and Peru to the west. There's also two different capitals in Bolivia. You have the administrative capital in La Paz, and the constitutional capital is in Sucre, seat of the judiciary. But despite that, the largest city is actually in Santa Cruz de la Sierra, which we will be visiting today. Will be there. The country is about 12 million people, and is very multi-ethnic, featuring Amerindians, Mezquitos, Europeans, Asians, and Africans, and other mixtures. Believe it or not, Bolivia is the fifth largest country in South America in land area, after Brazil, Argentina, Peru, and Colombia. It's the 27th largest in the world and the largest in the southern hemisphere. So, pretty big country in land area. Modern day Bolivia is a developing country and the second poorest in South America, though it has slashed the poverty rates and has been growing its economy quickly, with its main resources being agriculture, forestry, fishing, mining, and goods. So, definitely a pretty interesting country to learn about on stream today. So, definitely very, very interesting to learn. So in terms of Bolivia, the history of Bolivia can go all the way back to the pre-colonial days. The region has been inhabited for over 2,500 years when the Aymara arrived. However, the present day associate themselves with the ancient Tiwanaku Empire in western Bolivia, and it dates back to 1500 BC, and it grew to urban proportions between 600 to 800 AD, becoming a regional power in the southern Andes. During that time, however, around 1438 to 1527, the Incan Empire actually spanned south from its capital, Cusco, and gained control over much of Bolivian Andes to the Amazon basin. So eventually, the Incan ended up absorbing much of the old Tiwanaku. So that's what happened to Bolivia's history. The Spanish conquest of the Incan Empire began in 1524 and was mostly completed by 1533. We'll talk more about the Inca when we go over Peru's history a bit. We'll talk more about that. The territory called Bolivia was known as Charcas and was under the authority of the Viceroy of Peru in Lima, and one of the major cities that was founded during this colonial period was Potosi, which we will fly over on the stream. It produced fabulous wealth, and it became the largest city in the New World with a population of over 150,000 people, and as well as Bolivian silver being an important source of revenue for the Spanish Empire. There was also, and many natives were under brutal slave conditions as well, and then it was eventually transferred to the Viceroy of the Rio de la Plata in 1776. There was a bit of a rebellion in 1781, but it was put down by the Spanish. But eventually, there would be a lot of resentment between Spanish colonial rule. And the struggle of independence started in 1809 in the city of Sucre by the Chiquiese Revolution, become the first cry of freedom in Latin America, though it was crushed by the Spanish. And then the La Paz Revolution happened in 1809 and marked a complete split with the Spanish government. Both of those revolutions were short-lived and defeated by the Spanish, though eventually the Spanish-American Wars of Independence raged across the continent. And despite Bolivia being captured many times, eventually, after 16 years of war, Bolivia gained independence as a republic in 1825. So Bolivia became independent from Spain. However, that didn't last too long of independence because in 1836, Bolivia invaded Peru to reinstall the post president and formed the Peru-Bolivian Confederation, which lasted for 3 years. And it ended due to a war with Chile in 1836, and Argentina as well, caused the War of the Confederation. Eventually, in 1839, the Bolivian Peru Federation fell apart. It was dissolved. Then, with newfound independence of Peru then invaded Bolivia, with the Bolivians defeating Peru. And then Bolivia invaded Peru as well, allowing for greater availability of the Peruvian resources. During this time as well, however, some big changes happened during the mid-late 19th century, mainly with economic and political instability. In addition, in 1879 to 1883, Chile occupied the vast territories rich in resources southwest of Bolivia, including the coast. And Chile right now took over the region of the Chiquitacamata area, as well as its rich saltpeter fields in the port of Antofagasta, which cost Bolivia its entire coastline. And it is still an issue even today. There's still diplomatic disputes and stuff over that. And since independence, it has over lost half its territory to neighboring nations in various ways, like diplomatic channels and more. During the earlier 20th century, tin replaced silver as the most important source of wealth in the country, as succession of governments controlled by the economic social elite followed policies throughout the first 30 years of the 20th century. However, the living conditions of the people remained deplorable, with limited work opportunities. In large states having feudal status, they had no access to education, economic opportunity, and political participation. Bolivia then lost to Paraguay in the Chaco War, and it marked a turning point in Bolivian history. Mainly in the 1950s, the Revolutionary Nationalist Movement emerged as a party and led to a successful revolution in 1952. Introduced under President Victor Paz Estranazo, he led to universal suffrage and carried out sweeping land reforms as well. However, within 12 years, there was a president that got the military junta overthrew him in his third term, and the 1969 death of President Reina Ortega led to a succession of weak governments, and eventually, it was part of Operation Condor as well. There were also elections in 1979 and 1981 with fraud, coup d'etat, counter-coups, caretaker governments, and more throughout the 80s. So eventually in the 90s, Bolivia started to re-democratize and inspired indigenous-sensitive and multicultural policies under President Gonzalo Sanchez de Lozada. In the more modern days, in 2005, Evo Morales became president, and he lasted until 2012, and helped create a new constitution in 2009. And the reforms have allowed Bolivia's economy to grow from 9 billion to over $40 billion while increasing wages, GDP per capita, foreign exchange rates, and more, greatly increasing Bolivia's wealth over the past decade in the 2010s. That is over for Bolivia's history. We'll go ahead and take care of that. So that should take care of Bolivia's history. Yep, just like that. That takes care of Bolivia's history. So yeah, guys, I hope you're enjoying this stream. I hope everyone's doing well. So we're about to make our way over to, I don't think we have to wait too much longer until we reach our first stop. Yeah, I want to take a look at the landscape, guys. Absolutely gorgeous out here today. That is beautiful. It's beautiful flying out here today, guys. So in terms of other news today, so we do have this week, we do have a Tutor Murphy group flight on today. He will be doing a group flight over Ireland. So he'll be flying from Donegal to Sligo to Birr to Shannon and then to Kerry. So it should be a nice flight. Ireland's a pretty country to fly over. Can't wait to visit it again. And of course, you guys should know tomorrow is a very big flight. It is the D-Day recreation flight to honor the 80th anniversary of D-Day. So I highly recommend you guys check that out. It's very, very important. yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I want to let guys know what kind of plans you have for the weekend. Um, so for this weekend, I'm probably gonna do another duty schedule today. Um, because like I said, I still have some stuff for the duty schedule I need to get done. So I really want to get that done as well. Hey, we have a follow from Amy Maya. Good to see you. Thank you for the follow, my friend. So we're actually going to head to Bolivia. We're going to go ahead and talk about our first waypoint. We're actually going to visit the largest open pit copper mine in the world. This is Chuquicamata. Chuquicamata. Or Chuqui for short. It's the world's largest open pit copper mine in terms of excavated volume in the world, located north of Chile, just outside of Palma, about 9,300 feet above sea level. The flotation smelting facilities were installed back in 1952, and expansion was happening during 1968, made around 500,000 tons of copper production available in the 70s. It's currently owned and operated by Codelco since the late 60s, early 70s, and its depth is actually around 2,700 feet, or 850 meters, making it the second deepest open pit mine in the world, after the Bingham Canyon mine in Utah. It was first opened all the way back in 1882. This area was very rich. However, it wasn't until after Chile acquired this territory that brought a lot of miners up there. And there, you can find tons of stuff for the mines. And this is the big reason why Chile has had such a large amount of copper mining. It's because of this mine over here. So, I'm from Indiana. I'm doing well today, Amy. We're flying to Chile as part of my around the world trip. We're going to make our way over to Bolivia today. And I'm from the United States, more specifically from the United States state of Indiana. Nice, from Manchester. Oh, that's cool. I am going to visit the UK next year, though I won't be in Manchester, sadly. I'll be in Liverpool. But cool, Manchester's a cool city. They got a great airport in Manchester, and of course, they got two of the world's most well-known football clubs in Manchester. So, UK is very much stacked when it comes to sports for Manchester. Typhoon said Canada. Yeah, the United States is definitely very cool. We got a lot of friendly people in the United States. Like, depends on where you go, but most people in the United States are very friendly. So yeah, our copper mine is going to be to our right is the copper mine. Oh, my favorite game? It's definitely this flight simulator, Amy. I really, really... Thanks. Fucking handsome. Oh, thank you. My favorite is definitely Flight Sim. I really, really enjoy Microsoft Flight Sim. I've been on this sim since it released back in August 2020. The Last of Us 2. That's a good choice. Yeah, also play GTA 5. GTA 5 is an excellent choice. I'm pretty excited to see what GTA 6 will look like. I know that's gonna come pretty soon. Oh. So here's the mine to our right. Here is the copper mine, and so here it is, guys. I'll definitely take a screenshot of that. But yeah, this is the world's second deepest mine, after the one in B. I mean, look how deep this mine is. Um, wow, look at that's insane. Yep, that is why I took the. That's crazy deep. That is one deep mine. That's very, very. Oh, do you stream daily? I stream 3 times a week. Typhon says. Yep. Besides gaming, I really do enjoy sports. I like sports and stuff. Baseball is one of my favorites. I'm a big fan of sports. I do also lots of research and stuff. I've been doing lots of help with researching for other people and volunteering. I like doing that to help others. Yeah, I have quite a bit of passions as well. I remain quite humble, but I mean, I work very hard. Um, all this stuff. Like, it takes a lot of work doing this research for my streams, but hey, Dougal McTavish, good to see you, Dougal. Welcome on in, my dude. I will be back in just a little bit. I gotta take. Oh, nice game development. Oh, that's awesome. From the University of Manchester. Oh, cool. That sounds awesome. So yeah, I put a Discord link up there in the chat if anyone you guys want to join my Discord. But I do all sorts of news and stuff. But going back to Typhon says, I stream 3 days a week. Wednesdays are mainly the virtual airline content. I stream virtual airline stuff because I'm part of a virtual airline, Firefly Air. So I do stream that. Also, and then Fridays and Sundays are going to be the around the world trips. I've already did a previous one last year, but now I'm doing an all countries trip. It'd take me a bit of a while, but I would. I really do appreciate Amy. Thank you for the kind words. Sure, you could. Yeah, you could definitely share the ideas on my Discord. Here's the link. If you're interested, yeah, definitely give some ideas on my Discord. I would love to get some ideas. I may not be able to do them on Fridays and Sundays, but maybe on Wednesday I have an idea. Definitely. I'm open to ideas on the Wednesday stuff. I'm very much open. Maybe in the future. Yeah, we're gonna be climbing. We're gonna be climbing next to 18,000 feet, and that's because we're heading to the Salt Flats, which is up there. But yeah, that's why we're taking this beautiful FS Reborn 500 with us, because we need something to get that high altitudes. A Cessna 172 and that is not going to cut it up there. Is So I am going to take a quick bio break. I'll be heading right back in just a bit. I got to take a quick bio break, so I'll be back in just a little bit. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh, no worries. I accept your friend request, Amy. So we're heading our way through Bolivia, so we're gonna head up to around 18,000 feet. So the scenery here looks amazing here today. I mean, look at the scenery, man. Wow, this is insane. Look at the scenery here in Bolivia. It is insane. Holy moly, the scenery here in Bolivia is insane. Just crazy. I mean, mind you, we're in some of the highest altitude plateaus in the entire Andes. Here, works. So we're going to be going through about Bolivia's geography here. Let's go over a bit about the geography of Bolivia because okay, let's go over Bolivia's geography. Booyah! All right. So Bolivia's geography. So geography is pretty crazy. It is the world's 20th largest country and the 5th largest South America, extending from the central Andes to the part of Gran Chaco as far into the Amazon as well. And the geography exhibits great variety of terrain and climates with a very high level of biodiversity, as well as several ecoregions and more. And there's a lot of altitude variation here in Bolivia. For example, the picture I showed you shows you that. For example, if you're in the northern parts of the country, but in the rainforest, it has very low elevation. But once you get to the southwest part of the country, west and southwest, the altitudes are insane. And it's not uncommon to be above 18,000 feet, about 5,000 to almost 6,000 meters high. So there are so much geographic diversity. Pretty insane. Oh, I just sent me a DM. But yeah, that's one of the really cool things about Bolivia is its geography. It's pretty crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy stuff here. The scenery is just insane. Yeah, I mean, who knew Bolivia looks like that? I mean, that's crazy. Again, this is why it's great to take GA aircraft every once in a while for flights like this, because yes, you could fly an airliner, but this area is so nice to fly over, especially with the really, really cool parts of the world. So yeah, we're still at our first stop. I mean, we still got a lot more mountains and volcanoes stuff to cross. However, there are three main physiographic regions in all of Chile, of all Bolivia. Yet first, the Andean region. This is the southwest, and it spans across 20% of its territory, extending over 307,000 square kilometers. And this area is located 3,000 meters above altitude and located between the two big Andean chains, the Western Range, or the Cordillera Occidental, and the Central Range, which is Cordillera Central. Some of the highest spots in the Americas can be found in this area, including the Nevado Sajama, the highest peak in the country, that's over 21,000 feet high. And one other place we're going to be visiting, Illimani, which we will be flying over that on Sunday at around 21,201 feet. You can also find Lake Titicaca, the highest commercially navigable lake in the world. Then you have, and of course, the world's largest salt flat. You also have, and we're actually right here at the Andean Plateau, which is actually the highest plateau outside of China, outside of Tibet. That's where we're at right now. Then we have the sub-Andean region in the center. It's actually comprised 13% of the territory, and it contains the Bolivian valleys and Yungas region, distinguished for its farming and temperate climate. And the Llanos region is the northeast, and it comprises more than half of the territory, feeding through the Paraguay River, and it's a region of flatlands and small plateaus, all covered by extensive rainforests with lots of biodiversity. So, looks absolutely incredible. Bolivia has so much geographic diversity. Crazy. I mean, one moment you're in plateaus and mountains, another part you're entering a rainforest. It's just, and another country that's like this is Peru, for pretty much similar reasons. So speaking of the Andean Plateau, this is the Altiplano, the high plain. It is the most extensive high plateau on Earth outside Tibet. And bulk of it lies here in Bolivia, which we are flying right now is much of the bulk of the plateau. And there are several cities in these nations, like La Paz. We'll be visiting one of those in the plateau. We'll be visiting that. It also has several salt flats due to its aridity, and also bordered by Lake Titicaca. And it's a site of several pre-Columbian cultures, including the Chirapa, Tiwanaku, and the Incan Empire. And today, the main parts of economic activities here include mining, llama and vicuña herding, and services in its cities, as well as international tourism. But yeah, it's crazy. Its average height is around 12,000 feet in height, and that's just the average height, which is just slightly less than that of Tibet. However, unlike Tibet, it's dominated by a lot of volcanoes, by massive active volcanoes around the Indian volcano belt. So yeah, this area actually has lots of active volcanoes here. So that is something to keep an eye on. Yeah, this is crazy area to fly over. And this is the big reason why I wanted to take the Piper M500 is for that reason, because the altitude here is going to be insane. I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's pretty crazy. So we don't have that much far left to go for that one. And also this diversity also kind of reflects in Bolivia's climate too. You see, Bolivia's climate um varies drastically from one ecoregion to another. For example, and one big example of this is from for example, in the eastern parts of the country, it's kind of a bit of a tropical climate. In the western Andes, it's kind of polar. Summers are warm and dry, warm and humid in the east, dry in the west. It's also affected by El Nino. When El Nino takes place, it causes great weather alterations in weather, with winters being very cold in the west. It snows in the mountain range. While in the western regions, windy days are more common. And basically, different regions would also have different climates. Um, as you can see here, for example, tropical rainforest in the center, northeast would be monsoon and savanna climate. Southeast would be arid steppe climate. And then to the southwest, you got cold arid desert, arid steppe hot in the area. You got different steppes, polar climate, temperate climate in the valleys is the temperate. You get a lot of different climate regions. Crazy. Llanos is humid tropical. At the Altiplano is very much desert polar. The valleys are temperate, and the Chaco is subtropical, semi-arid. Though Bolivia is especially vulnerable to negative consequences of climate change, due to 20% of the world's tropical glaciers are located here in Bolivia. So definitely something to keep an eye on for sure here in Bolivia. And then finally, with the geography lesson, we'll have to talk about biodiversity. So yeah, Bolivia is home to tons of animals and ecosystems. And that's why it's one of the mega diverse country. It's almost among the mega diverse countries in the world. I think it's just barely out. It's one of the 20 like-minded mega diverse countries. So it's actually one of the it's almost one of the 20 mega diverse countries. So it's a very biodiverse country, home to tons of animals, and because of its vast altitude differences in regions, there's tons of diversity. There's over 17,000 species of seed plants, as well as more than 3,000, as well as being the origin of the pepper and chili peppers, peanuts, common beans, yucca, and several species of palm. It's also got a lot of forest integrity in its forest, and it's home to over 2,900 animal species, including 398 mammals, over 1,400 birds, which is about 14% of the birds known. So it's a very diverse species for birds. It's also diverse for fish species. All of them are freshwater fish. 204 species of amphibians and 277 species of reptiles. There's also more than 3,000 types of butterflies and more than 60 domestic animal species. The national animal here in Bolivia is the llama. Yes, the llama. It's actually a domesticated member of the camels. It was very much used for meat and as a pack animal since the pre-Columbian days. And these guys can live up to really high altitudes. One of the unique characteristics of llamas, of course, is they can actually reach up to 5 feet at the top of the head in height and can weigh up between 287 to 600 pounds. And llamas can typically live for 15 to 25 years, but some can survive up to 30 years or more. Also, they live up to herds on the bleak and elevated parts of the mountain range all across Bolivia, and they can be found in many different climates throughout Peru, southern Ecuador, and as far south as Bolivia. And the fiber from the llama is very delicate and soft and highly valued for weaving, though there's not very much quantity. Its quantity is quite small, so it's very expensive. And they also have, and just like other camels, they have a long and complex large intestine to allow them to reabsorb water from waste, and it can survive on not very much water. So they can, which is a huge advantage when they live in such arid conditions. So, pretty cool stuff about the llama. Also, apparently llamas are now used as livestock guards in some parts of North America too. But yeah, llamas play a big role in So we're gonna go ahead and now reach we're gonna reach to the world's largest salt flat here today. Booyah! Here we go, guys. So here we are, guys. This is the Uyuni Salt Flat, or also known as Salar di Uyuni. This is the world's largest salt flat at over 10,000 square kilometers in area, and it's around 11,000 feet above sea level. The salt flat was formed as a result of transformation between several prehistoric lakes that existed around 40,000 years ago. Though all had evaporated over time, and is now covered with a few meters of salt crust, which has extraordinary flatness. And this crust serves as a source of salt and covers a pool of brine, which is exceptionally rich in lithium. The large area, clear skies make it ideal for calibrating the altimeters of Earth's satellites. Falling rain, a thin layer of dead calm water, transforms the flat into the world's largest mirror, around 80 miles across. It serves as a major transport route across the Altiplano and a prime breeding grounds for several species of flamingos. It has been used as a film location for quite a few movies, including most notably Star Wars: The Last Jedi as the planet Crate, the 2006 movie The Fall, and the 2016 movie Salt and Fire. Yeah, it's a huge, huge place. Oh, a big note of news, guys. So this is big. Apparently, FS Hub just released. Bobby Allen just released. The SimConnect client for MSFS. It's still technically beta. Though, yeah, you can now do it out of SimConnect. So, pretty cool stuff. So we're gonna be flying into this for just about a little bit as we reach to our first stop. So we're gonna fly across Salt Flat. Should be pretty cool. But yeah, it's relatively stable climate. It's around 70 degrees Fahrenheit in November to January, and a low of 55 degrees in June. It's very important economically because it's part of the lithium triangle and contains a large amount of sodium, potassium, lithium, and magnesium, as well as borax. In fact, 22% of the world's lithium resources is actually held here in the salt flats, and Bolivia has 22% of the lithium. There's also all sorts of flora and fauna live here, including giant cacti, the James flamingo that lives up in these altitudes, the copeo, or the Indian wolf, which is actually a fox, Indian goose, and more. In the sour is virtually devoid of all wildlife and ladder. Most are dominated by giant cacti and all that. However, it became a breeding ground for flamingo species because they feed on the local brine shrimp that takes advantage of it. And there are also other bird species that come here too. So, for tourism, it's a popular tourist destination, and there have been a number of hotels actually built. Due to the lack of conventional construction materials, many of them have been built literally out of salt blocks. One of those was the Palacio de Sal, built in the 90s. And they had to dismantle the hotel. There's also a train cemetery as well that used to connect it to the train tracks. So, pretty cool stuff. Very cool salt flat. Fly over. I mean, this salt flat's been going on for miles. That's absolutely crazy. So let's go ahead and turn right and go to our first stop of the day. At Sierra Lima Uniform Yankee. So I hope you guys are learning something here today. So Uyuni is going to be our first stop of the day. It's known as it's come from the Aymara word for yard or cemetery. It serves as a primary gateway for tourists to visit the world's largest salt flats, the Uyuni Salt Flat. It receives over 60,000 visitors from around the globe. It also acts as a gateway for commerce and traffic coming into now Bolivia to and from Chile. It was founded in 1890 as a trading post, and the population is around almost 30,000 people, and it has an extensive street market. It is an important transport hub, being the location of a major railway junction from La Paz, Calama in Chile, Potosi in Villazon. It also has its own airport. And one of its unique attractions is an antique train cemetery to learn more about its railroad days, when railroads used to transport stuff around the area to its former ports, which Bolivia used to have until they lost them in the War in the Pacific. And finally, Uyuni Airport of Sierra Lima Uniform Yankee. It is the main airport. It is the big airport for the city. It is close to the world's largest salt flat, opened back in 2011, and is currently served by one airline, Boliviana de Aviación, which we will talk about Sunday. The runway is around 13,000 feet long, and it's actually Bolivia's second longest runway after La Paz Airport in La Paz. Now you would think, why would a smaller airport like this need a 13,000 foot runway? Let me tell you the reason for this. The airport where it's situated, you want to know the altitude? 12,000 feet above sea level. Now, to put that in comparison, the airport we just took off for today, which is Antofagasta Airport, is only 400 feet above sea level. I mean, I don't even have to tell you why that's not a big deal. That's insanely high altitude stuff. And that means if you're flying like a 737, you're going to struggle taking off of there. You're going to really struggle with that, and that's not an easy airport to get in and out of at all. It's going to need a lot of runway length just to even get off the airport. It's insane. Yeah. Let's do our first land prediction of the day. Exclamation mark predict, type in a negative number. Okay. Autopilot off. And flight director off. Adding. Just insane, the scenery here. Has been absolutely nuts. But it goes to show you guys, the altitude around here is just pretty insanely high altitude. And it's going to be the same thing coming on next week. In fact, it's going to be the same thing coming into the next couple weeks. We're going to be high altitude flights, so we're going to be, and that's going to be the same case on Sunday. And for that one, I'm going to be taking the PC6 Porter. They have 221, not me. Yep. It says here that Bob released the new SimConnect thing, so he says tracking now flights with consider this as public beta, testing new climate and stuff. We'll be stopping here for just a little bit. This is our first stop of the day here at your uni. So we'll be stopping here for just a little bit. If you guys want to join on in for the second leg of the trip, we're on the Southeast Asian server. We'll be preparing for our route. Exclamation point route. Give us the next one. We'll be headed to Santa Cruz de la Sierra for the next leg, which would be 271 nautical miles. It'll be 272, 273 nautical miles. So we'll be going through there pretty quickly. If you don't have the M500, don't worry. You take your option of the King Air or TBM with you. Just please take something that can go up to high altitudes. Because we're going to be going, because normally most planes can't get to that altitude pretty safely. So we'll just wait here for just a minute and see if anyone else wants to join on in. for leg 2, we'll be flying up to we're gonna be flying to 17,000 feet for this leg. But of course, if you notice, yeah, this is gonna take us some extra time to take off. As well, we're at 13,000 feet, so this is gonna take us quite a bit long. Just imagine if we were doing this in a Boeing 737, how long the takeoff roll would be. Here we go. 17,000 feet. However, we will be climbing down later in the flight. We'll climb down to a much lower altitude later on the flight. But this is going to take us another hour, maybe an hour and a half probably. Get down to this part of Bolivia. So firewall if you have to. I am firewalling it, but I don't want to get too quick. We're going to go to 17,000 feet for this one. Oh yeah, it is firewall to the very max. Thank you very much. That's right. Let's go. So we still got a bit of ways to go for this one. Hmm. Oh. Yep. So we're flying around 280 knots, 40 knots here. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous here today. I mean, the scenery in Bolivia is just amazing today. And we're going to continue to get some really good scenery within the next several weeks. Will be just incredible. Soon I'll have to post the next 7 days of stream stuff for the next 7 days as well. Man, this is awesome. Just insanely cool. we're cruising at 253 knots. We're just 235 nautical miles away from our final stop in Tierra de la Cruz. So let's go over the next part of our slideshow for Bolivia. We'll be talking about Bolivia's government, the government structures of Bolivia. So Bolivia's government is it is a democratically led government since 1982. Previously, it used to be a military dictatorship by various dictatorships, and it's continued since ascending power as well. Thanks to Presidents Hernan Serraro and Victor Paz Estinarzio, Bolivia has a multi-party democracy and a seat a wide variety of parties in the presidency and parliament, mainly through the Revolutionary Nationalist Movement, National Democratic Action, and the Revolutionary Left Movement, have dominated between 1985 to 2005. All senior government positions were vacated via the resignation of the Constitution drafted in 2006-7 and approved in 2009 provides for balanced executive, legislative, and judicial elected powers, as well as several layers of autonomy. The traditionally strong executive branch in the government tends to overshadow the Congress, whose role is generally limited to debating and approving legislative by the executive. The judiciary is mainly comprised of the Supreme Court and lower courts, has long been riddled with corruption and inefficiency, though revisions have strengthened the judiciary system, and more. The executive branch is headed by the president and vice president and consisted of a variable number of government ministries. There's 20 of them currently, and is elected to a 5-year term by popular vote and governs from the presidential palace in La Paz. The Legislative Assembly has 2 chambers. The Chamber of Deputies has 103 members elected to 5-year terms. 63 from single-member districts, 60 by proportional representative, and 7 by the minority indigenous people. Then you have the Chamber of Senators, which is for 36 members, 4 per department, and elected for 5 years terms. And finally, members of the judicial system are actually chosen by popular vote, a reform by Evo Morales. One of the other unique things about Bolivia is its capital. Its constitution recognized capital is La Paz, as Sucre. However, the seat of government is actually in La Paz. And the main reason they did that is because Sucre was quite remote. So kind of an unusual note about the government of Bolivia. So definitely a pretty interesting consequence of all those changes. Yeah, the scenery here in Bolivia is just gorgeous out here today. I mean, the scenery is just incredible. I mean, hey, Viper NB, good to see you, my dude. Welcome on in. We're heading to Santa Cruz de la Sierra today. We're taking the FSR 500 from FS Reborn. Um, and man, the scenery in Bolivia is absolutely incredible. So we started all the way back at Antofagasta, and we made our way first. We passed through one of the deepest copper mines in the world at Chuquica Mata. And then we went through um, the Indian Plain, the Indian Plateau. We got to see tons of mountains and volcanoes, and then we went through the Uyuni salt flats, the world's largest salt flats. We got to briefly get into there, and now we stopped at Urini, and we're going to head all the way to Santa Cruz de la Sierra, the largest city in Bolivia. So, um, beautiful areas. I got those pictures in my Discord, but I'm going to post it. But you can check the VOD for it. There was some absolutely stunning scenery. The scenery in Bolivia is just incredible. But yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. This weekend should be a lot of fun. This weekend, should be an awesome weekend. I'm going to be doing plenty of flying. So it is really cool. But yeah, Bolivia. A lot of people don't know this, but Bolivia also has a lot of biodiversity and more. And speaking of which, actually, if you look, we're gonna come up to a very important city to our left. Um, if you look to our left, everyone, we should be approaching the city of Potosi. Potosi. If you guys don't know about this city, this was the capital city and municipality of its own department, and it's one of the world's highest cities at around over 13,000 feet. But for centuries, this was where the official silver mint of the Spanish Empire. It came. A lot of it was shipped through here, and a lot of its architecture from the colonial era is still preserved, and that's why it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site because it's still preserved. Because this is where the Spanish supplied much of its silver until in the 18th century with the Mexican city of Guanajuato. In order to take a lot of that silver, um, they had to actually be taken by llama and mule trains um, to the Pacific coast, shipped north to Panama City, and more. And some of it made its way to Buenos Aires, as well as some going through Mexico and even to Manila. But it's still a major mining center even to today. So we'll be approaching um, this historic Chilean city. So very, very cool place. Like I said, Bolivia's got a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, you can still see a lot of its colonial era heritage. It's very, very cool to learn. Like I said, that's what I like about history so much. I like learn about these. Here's the city to our west, the historic mining town. So here it is, Potosi. They even got an airport there as well, which is it's only 9,000 feet long, but the altitude is almost 13,000 feet. So yeah, good luck landing any airliner in there. It's going to be a very difficult airport. Lots of high altitude airports in Bolivia as well. Like I mean, there's lots of high altitude airports in the area. You have Cochabamba with Sierra Lima Charlie Bravo, that's 8,000 feet. And of course, let's not forget one of the most famous airports in the country, La Paz Airport, El Alto International, at a astonishing 13,212 feet. And basically, even despite its massive runway length of 13,000 feet, you still can't land wide body planes in there because of that altitude. It's insane. People don't get it as well. But actually, I will be making a bit of a tour. I forgot to put this in my notes. I forgot to do Sucre, so I'm going to have to put my notes. But I actually forgot to do this. So here. So actually, I forgot to put this when I did the flight plan originally, but we're actually gonna also fly over another well-known Bolivian city. What's your thoughts on the dev stream? There are some things I was interested in the dev stream myself, um, so there's quite a few things I did like. Obviously, it's been very stable, which is great news. Sim Update 15 is insanely stable, which is great. I haven't flown the A320neo, but I haven't got a chance to fly over it very much because I don't know work. Airplane haven't worked in the 707. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd like to see a 707 in the sim, but since this is airplane heaven, I'm kind of iffy because it's airplane heaven. If it was someone like either PMDG or even FS Reborn, because I know they're working on a 727, or even just flights, I mean, I would be way more hyped for the 707, but who knows? I might be proven wrong, but I mean, it'd be really cool to see a 707 in the sim. And they're also working on the new city update. I do like the new city update, especially photogrammetry in DC, which is real exciting because Washington DC deserves to be for Washington DC. So I think DC would be pretty much. And we're also getting a new update, Sim Update 16 as well. And then for FS24, some of the new planes as well, um, including the Cessna AG truck, the 188, the Ericsson S64 aircrane, in the Fairchild A10 Thunderbolt, as well. And they also do some multi-monitor stuff and all that. So there are some things I do like. But the thing I'm most notable is just that, and yeah, Vegas as well. But the next place we're gonna be checking out is sorry about that. I just added the notes because I forgot to do that when I did the presentation. This is Sucre. Sucre is the Jujur capital city of Bolivia. Its elevation is about 9,100 feet. It gives it a subtropical highland climate with cool temperatures year-round. Today the region is primarily of a Quechua background with some AMR communities and influences. It holds major national importance and is the educational and governmental center as well as the location of the Supreme Court. Its pleasant climate and low crime rates have made it very popular for both foreigners and Bolivians. Most notably, contain one of the best preserved Hispanic colonial and Republican historic city centers in the Western Hemisphere, making it a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's also an important place in Bolivian history, as it was the first capital of Bolivia to fall before silver's importance. And there's still regional tensions between Sucre and La Paz, but it's got a rich history. Yeah, they did show off Las Vegas, which is pretty interesting to see. So we're about to fly over the historic capital of Bolivia. on here. But yeah, look at that. That's incredible. Imagine visiting the city centers and stuff. That's gorgeous. Man, I'm absolutely loving this flight. Bolivia is just gorgeous. There's the airport down there too. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and turn right here. This waypoint's gonna be 140 nautical miles. So after this stream, I'll be doing another duty schedule and get that completed since I really want to get caught up. I'm actually at 147,000 XP. So I have a realistic chance of surpassing both Paparazzi and MDA, which is pretty crazy. I don't think I'm ever going to catch up to Sean. Seriously, Sean Neal's way ahead of me. I mean, Sean Neal's, no joke, way ahead of me. So if I catch to the top 3, that would be pretty amazing. Consider I've been gone for 14 days and I still managed to catch up to near the top of the leaderboard. So, very much so as well. But yeah, I really do enjoy flying Bolivia. Bolivia's great. Like Bolivia and Chile, man, those are really nice. And it makes me actually kind of excited to fly into Peru because I know on next Friday we'll be going to Cusco and Machu Picchu. So should be an absolutely incredible flight, maybe the most scenic flight yet. On next Friday, because we're going to be taking off from El Alto. We'll fly through Lake Titicaca. Then from there, we'll go to the historic city of Cusco. And apparently, they're going to build a new airport in Cusco to replace the one there. And then we're going to go check out Machu Picchu. And I will get the scenery for that as well. And we'll make that final approach over to Ayachucho, Sierra Papa Hotel Oscar. And we'll be preparing for the next trip over to Lima. For next Sunday, it'll be to Lima, and then from Lima over to Trujillo, I believe. And then from Trujillo, we'll make our way over to Ecuador. We'll briefly make our way over to Ecuador. Should be nice as well. So I'm looking forward to for next week. I mean, next Friday should be probably the most scenic flight because you got mountains, huge lakes, rainforest, and historical stuff. So should be absolutely. So let's go ahead and talk about Bolivia's economy for a bit. Bolivia's economy is mainly driven by its rich resources. Due to its rich natural resources, it's become a regional leader in terms of economic growth, fiscal stability, and foreign reserves, though it historically remains a poor country. Its 2012 GDP is 27.43 billion. However, despite a series of mostly political setbacks, the Morales administration spurred growth higher than any point in the past 30 years, has greatly increased GDP, and and has continued to grow over the past decades. Nowadays, Bolivia's GDP is actually at around $125 billion for its purchasing power parity, and its nominal GDP is 46 billion. So it's getting up there for its economy. But one of the big parts about agriculture is agriculture. It's less relevant than it used to be, though agriculture still produces still a big deal in this area. Mainly produces 10 million tons of sugarcane per year and the 10th largest soybean producer in the world. Also having yields of maize, potatoes, sorghum, banana, rice, and wheat, though its largest export has been soy, which was brought over by the Brazilians. However, an interesting fact, however, is that the most lucrative product is actually coca, which Bolivia is the world's third largest cultivator of coca. Now, if you wonder what's so important about coca, well, basically, coca is mainly used as a um, uh, it's mainly for its alkaloid, cocaine, which is the alkaloid, and that's used a lot as a drug. Is its alkaloid? That's but it's mainly been used for both military and all that. Outside of that, though, one of the most historically important has always been mineral resources, and Bolivia's got an extremely rich amount of mineral resources. But though it's relatively unexplored compared to other countries, as it's right in the heart of the South America, and most of the country's exports are dependent on mining, and it's the eighth world's largest producer of silver, fifth largest in tin, in antimony, and the seventh largest producer of zinc, eighth largest in lead, the fourth largest producer of boron, and the sixth largest of tungsten. There's also considerable gold production, about 25 tons a year, as well as amethyst extraction. It also boasts the world's largest lithium reserves. About almost a fourth of the world's lithium reserves are in Bolivia, as well as the second largest antimony reserves, third largest iron ore, sixth largest tin, ninth largest lead, silver, and copper reserves, 10th in zinc reserves, and an undisclosed reserves of gold and tungsten, as well as one of the largest natural gas reserves as well in Africa and South America, second largest in South America, natural gas reserves, and more. So there is a lot. Um, so that is a pretty big deal about Bolivia. Got a lot of mineral resource stuff, and that's why it's got a lot of potential for the future. And finally, for tourism, the income for tourism has been increasing importance, mainly on ethnic diversity. But some of those visited places being the Nevado Sajama, Tortoro National Park, Madidi National Park, and the city of La Paz. It's also got home of various festivals, including the Carnival de Oro, which was among the first 19 pieces of oral and intangible heritage of humanity by UNESCO in 2001. So very, very important in terms of economy in Bolivia. But yeah, there's tons of really cool stuff about Bolivia. Um, Yep. So we could descend here pretty shortly because we're not going to get much of the hilly areas anymore of Bolivia. We're going to actually have to start going down a little bit. Maybe not now, but maybe we'll descend a little bit later. So I'm going to look to descend to 4,000 feet, but I'm going to go. Let me go ahead and get back to my music. Play the music. Or just the power. Yeah, I'm gonna go down in altitude because we're gonna hit the Santa Cruz de la Sierra, and that's gonna be pretty long. That would be a pretty easy transition. Yeah, it's just stunning. This area is incredible. Data here is actually pretty good here in this part of Bolivia. So, so we'll be approaching Santa Cruz de la Sierra in about 83 nautical miles. So we don't really have that much far left to go. Now we're going to save the rest of the other topics like transportation and culture for Sunday. So we'll do the rest of that then. Because obviously we have to talk about that some other times. That's what we're going to be doing for Sunday. I'm going to try and space out these notes quite a bit. view out here should be very, very nice. So the city we're going to be checking out here today is Santa Cruz de la Sierra. It's actually Bolivia's largest city. Yes, it's despite the city government being in La Paz and the de jure capital Sucre, the largest city is actually Santa Cruz de la Sierra. Yes, I know, very, very, very unusual. So, this city right here is population of this area is around the city itself is around 1.7 million people, though its metropolitan area is 2.4 million people. Founded in 1561 by the Spanish explorer Nufilio de Chavez, it was moved several times until it was finally established in the Parai River in the 16th century. Ironically, for most of its history, it was just outpost town, and even when Bolivia gained independence, there was little attention from authorities. However, it wasn't until the mid-20th century with profound agrarian and land reforms that this city has grown really fast. And due to its low elevation, it has a very much a tropical climate, unlike the other areas in Bolivia. And because of its being the most populous city, it's generating nearly 35% of Bolivia's GDP and receives over 40% of all foreign direct investment in the country, and it's the most important business center in the country, and the primary destination for national and international migrants. So it's a very big city here in Bolivia. It's quite a busy city. And here's some of the landmarks here in the city that worth checking out. You have the San Jose de Cuchitos, founded in 1697 by Jesuit fathers Felipe Soares and Dianzo de Alva. It still remains a church that was built in 1731, a mortuary chapel, and a church dated tower back to 1758. It's actually located a little far away, but it's still one of the only church stuff that's still active here in Bolivia. The only mission's still active. Then there's the Noel Camp Mercado National Park, home to our huge diversity of ecosystems. And it presents exceptional scenic beauty thanks to large barrels and waterfalls of the Capro Plateau. We will be flying over that national park on Sunday on our way to Cochabamba. And finally, the last place to visit is the Plaza 24 de September. The main square, one of the most important meeting points of the city, where you can find a magnificent cathedral. The Casa de la Culture, the House of Culture, which is used as an art gallery, in the prefecture's palace, are located here among the plaza. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, we're descending down here very slowly. I don't want to descend too fast or hit the scenery, so we're just descending this nice and slow. So I will be taking I got to take another broad break. I'll be back in just a minute. Hopefully we'll get there by the time we land. So I'll be back. So we're about to reach. So we have one more slide for today. This is Viru International Airport. This is Bolivia's largest international airport and handles domestic, regional, international flights from Bolivia, North America, South America, and Europe. It is a focus city for the biggest airline, Boliviana de Aviación. And it's able to handle larger aircraft such as the 747-400, E340-600, and the 777-300ER. Opened back in 1983 to replace the obsolete El Tromfilo Airport, and has become a main gateway for international flights. And View originates from the indigenous Guarani language in the area, mainly meaning a distinctive geographic feature. Some say a round object, or a river, or a plain. Some of the destinations served at the airport include La Paz, Lima, Madrid, Miami, Sao Paulo, Cochabamba, and Buenos Aires are some of the destinations. So yeah, if you're flying the wide-body planes like the 777 or 787 and all that, you actually want to fly to here, because as you'll see, as I'll explain on Sunday, there's a reason they landed there and not at La Paz. So that is our last slide of today. Let's go ahead and do one more lane prediction. Exclamation point predict. Type in a negative number, and we'll predict for our landing here at Santa Cruz de la Sierra. Yep, here it is, Santa Cruz de la Sierra, and we're right on the banks of the Pirai River. Here we are. Mm. Here it is, Santa Cruz de la Sierra. Here it is. Here we go, guys. Our airport is only 8 miles. So, guys, this was quite a lot of fun today. I mean, yeah, I was working a little longer than I was expecting it to be, but Tarnish, good to see you. We're about to make our final stop of the day at Sierra Lima Victory Romeo. Tarnish. So we started all the way back in Antofagasta, Chile. We made our way through the big copper mine at Chuquicamata before, and then as well going through the Andean Plateau and the Uyuni Salt Flats to make our first stop at Sierra Lima Uniform Yankee. And then we checked out the historic mine city of Potosi and the de jure capital of Bolivia, Sucre. And we're now about to land, and we went over the largest city in Bolivia, Santa Cruz de la Sierra. So we're going to make our landing there, wrap up the stream. We're about done with it. We will be back Sunday from we will be back to do one more flight in Bolivia. So that, I'm going to go ahead and reduce the volume a little bit because obviously we're going to go prepare for the landing. Yeah, it was quite a bit of a flight in the FSR 500. But yeah, it was absolutely stunning. I mean, the scene, if you got a chance to see the VOD, the scenery has been absolutely breathtaking here. The scenery in this part of Bolivia is absolutely stunning today, and I think next week should be no different. It's going to be no different tomorrow. Not tomorrow, on Sunday. The scenery is going to be just as good, if not better, on Sunday. Should be amazing. Negative 148 speed through. Yep. Here, we're gonna go left. Taxiway. We did it. We made it to our final stop. Whoops. Whoops, I missed a taxi. I wasn't paying attention. And that's it, everyone. Welcome to Bolivia. So, guys, thank you all so much for coming here on today's stream. This was a great time here. So, thank you all so much. No worries. We'll be doing a quick break, guys. Thank you so much for coming here today. Today was a lot of fun. We will be back here on Sunday. We'll be taking the Polaris PC6 Porter, and we're going to fly all the way to Cochabamba and La Paz are there. So it should be some scenic high altitude flying again. So we're going to go ahead and set up the raid. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of, and a great start to your weekend. Goodbye, everyone.